I'm hiring A-class employees, but I'm not letting them do their A-class work because I was stifling them from being able to do those things because I was either micromanaging some stuff or I was always there to say, when they went to make a decision, I'd be like, I'm not, yeah, that's a good decision, or maybe it wasn't, and wasn't giving them the true authority to go make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I needed to get myself out of that way, get to where I'm operating from 30,000 feet versus boots on the ground.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue-collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue-collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1,000,000 a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's thebluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue-collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions, they help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue-collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Hitters Podcast. I'm here with Andy Dunning, who is a friend of mine through Andy Elliott and the Elliott Army group. Actually, we got connected. I saw that you were down in Mexico with Andy, spending some time with him. So I really want to pick your brain. And he's also a friend of the show, Ben Jordan, who we know and love. Andy, man, tell us about your business, the auction for the car auctions. And then I'm also curious to really hear how your time with Andy was down in Mexico.
I can start off with the time with Andy down in Mexico was transformable. It just was completely insane. But to tell you a little bit about myself, yeah, I'm in the automotive space. We actually are a car auction. We facilitate mainly for new car dealerships. Let's just say you were driving a truck and you wanted to trade it in and go get a new truck, and it was a vehicle that they didn't think was going to be quality enough to be on their front line for them to resell. So then it goes into what they call wholesale. They send it out to an auction so that they can recapture their money for what they paid you in your trade-in. Then if it's a vehicle that maybe your truck was clean enough and they wanted to retail it, they put it on their front line in their used car inventory and try and retail it. Let's say it goes so many days, though, and it hasn't sold yet. Well, they can't just sit on inventory infinitely waiting for it to sell. They need to keep their cash flow turning. So usually within a 65 to 75 day run, they'll take that same vehicle, send it out to auction, get their money back out of it, and then reinvest it back over. They may even put it in the exact same type truck again, but it's a new vehicle on their lot and it starts a new time watch on it.
How did you stumble into this? Like, I don't even know where I'd begin to wind up in this industry. How did you find yourself here?
So when I was 19, I was playing basketball in college and I blew my knee out. And my dad's a retired colonel from the Army. I wanted to do something with him in business. And I just asked him, I said, hey, man, let's do something together. And he was like, well, let's open an antique auction house. And I'd grown up around antiques my whole life and everything. And I knew what an auction was, but I didn't really know what it meant when he said, let's open an antique auction house. And I just asked him a question. I said, who are you going to get to be the auctioneer? And he points his finger at me and he goes, you. And 2 weeks later, I left for auction school in Missouri and went to Kansas City, Missouri, went to one of the most prestigious auction schools there was at the time. And history then, I've never had another job. By the age of 26, I was the best auctioneer in the world. And I'd won state championships. I'd won international championships. They have bid calling contests for how clear you are and what you sound like and how well you can perform as an auctioneer. And by the time I was 26, I was the youngest one to ever win that. But when I went to auction school, I went to my very first car auction and I was like, that's what I really want to do. And I was in love with it from that moment.
Well, of course, I got to ask you to sample the auctioning. So let's,
man, I quit auctioning 8 years ago. I'm going to do it for you. And it's going to be embarrassing because it won't be what it was. But I quit auctioning.
I don't have a refined ear, so I'm sure it'll be amazing.
That's all right. Okay. Wow. Way to put me on the spot. I don't think I've been embarrassed in a long time. Okay. Here's the best I can do for now. 1100, itty bitty get 12, 12, itty bitty get 1200, 1300, itty bitty 14, 15, get in now, 1700, 1800, 19, sold $2,000.
Wow. And you go to school for that? There's schools for auctioneers, dude. That's
there's school for auctioneers. And that's slow. And like I said, I haven't done it in 8 years. And, but when I was at my peak, I was selling nine auctions a week doing cars. And I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have that pressure, because if you missed a day in the auction business, somebody else was taking your job. You were just contract labor. I wasn't an employee for anybody. And I was like, man, the real money is owning one of these. And when I was 28 or 29, I bought my first auto auction. And I bought a little rinky dink junk sale that was selling about 30 cars a week. And over the next 10 years, I built that little rinky dink auction into owning one in Austin, Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. And we're selling, thousands of cars a week, and sold out to a private equity group in 2010.
That's awesome. Okay, I have a million questions about that. So, well, but the time with Andy. So I remember I saw a little of your time, and it sounded like one of the biggest takeaways was you just felt like you had to get out of your own way. So, like, what was that about?
you know what I find, I'm in the process, I'm back into the business again, and I'm rebuilding it. And I started back in 2018. Well, my business is now about 4 times larger than the one was that I sold. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get to where I'm out of the business so that I can run the business.
Yeah.
And I was a great boots on the ground operator, but what I found myself doing is I'm hiring A-class employees, but I'm not letting them do their A-class work, because I was stifling them from being able to do those things, because I was either micromanaging some stuff, or I was always there to say, when they went to make a decision, I'd be like, I'm not, yeah, that's a good decision, or maybe it wasn't, and wasn't giving them the true authority to go make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I needed to get myself out of that way, get to where I'm operating from 30,000 feet versus boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And Andy, and I was making that transition, but I wasn't sure that I was doing the right thing. And Andy, really watching how they operate their company, just at a huge 9-figure business, and how they stay out of the way of their A players to do what it is their roles are for. Really, that's where the big hit was for me.
I love that. So with your business right now, what's going really well with your business that you're pumped about, and like what's a big challenge you guys are facing?
So the big challenge right now is, obviously trying to scale your business. And I'm in the process of building a $30 million facility in Fort Worth right now for a new location that we're doing. It's my first ground up facility. And when I say that, it's the greenfield. I went out, I bought a piece of property. I don't do business in this area. I have some businesses I deal with in this area, but I'm coming in and I'm bringing a whole new business to this town. And so the challenges of going through a construction process that I've never been through before into what I'm doing now is definitely huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But on the positive side, man, our business is growing in sales. So our sales side is doing really, really well. And I've got a good solid team around me. Like I said, I've got great A players around me that I can now step away and get out of their way.
Yeah. How are you, out of curiosity, and I have no idea how it's affecting the auction space and also the automotive space, how are you guys integrating AI into your business?
It's becoming, something that we're actually using more and more. I'm looking at ways currently at developing our own app that I can go out and monitor our data within our company of who's buying what cars, how many cars a week they're buying, and then I'm taking exactly what they're buying based on the current inventory that we have in for the week, to be able to feed it back to them and tell them, hey, you guys we've got vehicles that are just like what you've been buying, your normal vehicle. So I'm able to advertise better to my buyers of the type inventory that we've got for sale.
So some sort of an app that's like comparative, and it quickly like analyzes and scans what they're looking at and showing them what else is in the inventory, but utilizing AI to do that.
Yeah, so let's say I've got a guy that buys Camrys on a regular basis, but I don't really pay attention that he bought 10 Camrys over the last 4 weeks. And I'm just paying attention to the fact he bought 10 cars over the last 4 weeks. This app that we're working on right now will go through and it will pick up, okay, Joe used cars bought 10 Camrys. The AI system already knows that. Now there's 5 Camrys coming up in this auction that all fit the parameters of what he bought. It's automatically sending him a message going, this week's auction pinpoints these specific cars, sends them the link to those specific cars, and lets them know that those are being sold this week.
Man, that's powerful. I think that would have huge implications for your business, but probably also for other companies that do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's something that gets you fired up that we haven't talked about on the podcast? Could be leadership, team, culture, a book you're reading, a business principle you've learned.
Right now I'm going through that complete transition, kind of like going down and spending that time with Andy Elliott and working on my self development currently. Just because I'm successful in business and and I've got a great trajectory of where we're headed, of things to do, I'm constantly working at improving myself. And I really feel I'm the most fired up about that right now. I'm fired up about changing myself, being able to invest in other people. I've finally gotten, I'm 55 now, and I've gotten to that point in my career where I can now give back and invest in some other people to help them grow at the same time. And I'm more concerned about, call it, duplicating myself within other people, as far as not my personality or anything, but my abilities as a leader.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. Never stop developing personally. Like that's such a great principle. It was interesting with Andy Elliott a number of years ago. Like I started seeing his content, and they're like, "Oh, I don't hire anybody without a 6-pack." I was like, "Who is this Hardo?" Like what's going on with that? And then maybe it was like 6 months ago. This kid named Jaden from Elliott messaged me on Facebook. We became friends. He started messaging me. He started sending me all these videos of them like baptizing people outside their headquarters after their events. And I'm like, wait a sec, what is the Lord doing over there? That's really cool. And man, even just the shift in him in the last year is kind of
The last 6 months is amazing.
Yeah, and anybody who's building God's kingdom through business, like I'm in. I'm so into that. And so they wrote me in, dude. I'm going to their events. Like I'm coming, man. God can't keep me away from like whatever the Lord is doing in the marketplace. I'm into that. So
Well, I hope you're coming to the one this month on the 24th and 25th. I'm speaking on the 25th.
I'll be there. Front row seat.
So, and just to add a little to that, so I've gone to a lot of business conferences. I've gone to a lot of the, call it the self-development, whatever you want to talk about, what those events are. And going on 3 years ago, I was at a PBD event for Patrick Bet-David, the Vault event, and I met Andy and the whole team there. And that was in September, and we left that event. He had an event the following weekend. I stopped in Fort Worth. I picked up my girlfriend. We went directly to Scottsdale, and I went to their next event just because I wanted to see what it was about. He invited me out, and there was a football player that got up there and was speaking. His name's Stephen Weatherford, and he gave his testimony, while he was up there on stage, and talked about everything. And I wasn't sure where I was headed or what it was I was looking for, but there was something about being at a business environment event, and then they brought God into it. And right then I knew, Andy wasn't on the track he's on right now, but he was starting down that road of where his growth was with the Lord. And I was just like, this is something I can buy into. I see it. The whole 6-pack thing, man, that's part of he's a diehard about fitness. Don't get me wrong. A year ago, I weighed 250 pounds. Today, I weigh 200 pounds and I've got a 6-pack.
Wow.
And, I've completely changed myself. But what did it do? It did nothing but help me in business. It helped me all the way around. It cleared my mind. It got me more focused on the things I was doing. It wasn't about getting a 6-pack. It was just about living a better, clean life. And that's what I started doing. I gave up drinking 2 years ago. I quit smoking dope. I quit doing all the things that were drawing me back to the other side. And I got that stuff out of my way. And now it's done nothing but bring me closer to the Lord, brought me closer to my family, and brought me closer to my business.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Well, Andy, man, you're going to be a friend of the show. I'm probably going to want to have you back on Where can people go if they want to learn more about who you are and what you do?
So I my Instagram page, it's underscore Andy Dunning, and it's ANDYDUNNING. And you can catch me on Instagram. Go there, follow, like whatever I post. I do a couple posts a day. They're usually something business related or just something goofy that I'm doing. I'm fortunate to have a great life, and God's blessed me with that. But He's also challenged me with a calling of going out and helping other people. So if somebody can follow it and like and see something there that helps them, I hope it does.
Amen, dude. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks so much for coming
Okay.
on the show.
Thanks for having me.